Just On with Jonty James. Dude, welcome to Just On.
Thank you for inviting me.
With Jonty James. We have the one and only Alon Preter on the show. Alon has been you have been an integral part of my life and my journey on the Gold Coast. From the first moment we met, which was in Free Living Studio, I was training there. No one turned up to the class that I was taking. We met instantly, we got along, had a really powerful conversation while you were taking me through one of your signature treatments. And from then we basically joined forces and created Humn together, and spent a lot of time creating and running events over the past couple of years, which I am, first of all, so grateful for and so thankful for the opportunity to meet you and to be able to team up and create what we've created. And yeah, just really, really pumped for the future. Would you like to introduce yourself as well on top of that and just share your side of the story?
Yeah, so hey everyone, my name is Alon. Thank you for having me, Jonty. I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure seeing your growth and journey, and since we met for the first time, exactly what you said back there at Free Living Studio. I think it was even that time where you didn't have anyone coming to that class. I had a few cancellations or something like that, and we just had spare time, and we're like, hey, why don't we just get to know each other or hang out. Yeah, it's been really cool since probably not really planning how things will roll or turn out, but we kind of join forces and really stick to our main purpose, which is helping people to become a better version of themselves. And that kind of led us to where we are today, and everything that we created together. Each one had as well their own niche within it, and we kind of stretched our branches and started creating more innovative stuff and things that we are more passionate about. And it's really cool to see how much potential there is for that thing that we created back then. And it's just gonna keep going and grow, and we just trained a new team and a few more facilitators into our community, which is really cool. And yeah, I'm really excited about the future as well.
Yeah, me too, bro. I would like to add to that we came together with a very common vision. You had created your Alon Therapy breathwork sessions on the beach, and you wanted support and you wanted help and you wanted to grow it and team up. And I came along, you invited me along to the first session, which I just came and sat back, and you asked me for some feedback, and I was like, oh cool, I like this and this and this. And then we caught up on the beach. I took you through a breathwork session on the beach, and you were like, bro, please come, you got to do this at the event. And one thing led to the next. I think that was September, October 2021. And by the end of that year, we'd basically formulated the idea for Humn. Found someone to design us a logo, which ended up being really cool. It is a heart within a brain, which signifies the idea that
it's a heart.
The heart is there.
It looks like lungs. It looks like the brain. There's many visuals to that logo, and all goes all
interpretations.
Right. Yeah, and it really defines what we are trying to create in these experiences. Is really either detach from the logic and connect more to the emotional, or just to harmonize between these two energetic centers, because we're either too much connected to the heart but not much using the logic,
the brain,
and the opposite, and it's bringing them together is what we're aiming with these practices. And so Love it. Love our logo, by the way.
Yeah.
It's
It was
cool.
awesome. Yeah, and it came so easily. I found someone on, I think it was Fiverr or one of those online platforms, and I was like, this is the idea. Boom, she sent through a bunch of drafts, and we're like, cool, like, maybe a little bit like this, and boom, that was it. We had it, and from that point, I think we launched in the new year at the start of 2022. At the start, it was just we actually done a little workshop together as well, a dance workshop.
Right.
And then I think a couple months into the year, I was like, I want to do, and I'm always full of ideas. We're both full of ideas. I was like, I want to do a full moon event, just throwing this big idea out there. And you're like, cool, let's do it. And I'm sort of like, like used to just trying to get validation from ideas, and you're like, okay, let's stake it in the ground and actually do it. And we created that first event, which was, I guess, the next step out of doing our Sundays events and doing something that probably pushed both of us as well, like pushed us a bit out of our comfort zone and forced us to step up and grow in many new ways. And those
it was
events.
So scary. I honestly, I was like, what are we doing? And like, how, and you were like, you have this thing of, okay, let's just flow. Let's not plan. Like, let's just see what happens. And I'm like, bro, no, let's sit on the structure and like what everyone says and what part, and like, don't even worry about it. And I'm like, okay, and it actually went really well. We kind of like complimented each other and the event. It was a great turnout. I think we were charging like maybe $5 just to like try to reach as many people. It was great. Like the weather was awesome on the beach, and we were so overwhelmed by like the response from people, and we're like, we should do it every month. Like, why not? And then we did that event at the farm studio, and then we integrated like that concept into like an indoor experience, and then collaborated with Flow State Studio, which is a beautiful venue. And then it just kind of led to your the biggest event since you started, which was 1 year anniversary for that full moon event. How many people attended to that?
I think we had about 65 people or something, or maybe even 70 in the room, including the facilitators.
Up in the valley?
At the Talabudra Valley Community Centre.
Wow.
I think these events have been a phenomenal way to grow. And on the back of what you were saying about let's just flow with it, that worked really well for some of the events. But then I know for some of the other events, it was almost like, whatever, let's just turn up and run it. And then we kind of got a little bit like messed up, and we had a few little like incidences. I don't think anyone else could tell, but we kind of realized, oh shit, we need a plan. And then we sat down after those events and we had a big chat, and we're like, okay, that didn't really, we didn't feel good doing that. It didn't like although everyone else still had a good experience, it was like, that just didn't feel right. Like it didn't feel like we could have done our best. And I think by the end of last year, the event that we did in December, we all got together, we sat down, we wrote out the structure of how we wanted to do it. We created the plan, we created, cool, we're all going to have a team meeting here. This is the sections that we're going to go through. And that final one that we did at the end of last year in December was like, just so easy. It was really flowy, but also it had structure. We all came out of it feeling really energized and really stoked about it. We had some cool videos. Everyone loved it. So I think what I learned from that is, and what I've taken into the more recent events that I ran, is really sitting down and allowing that space to create that structure has been really important in making sure those events run really clear. Like the process that I used, particularly running the last couple on my own, or like facilitating on my own, was going out into nature on 1 or 2 days beforehand, and up the Talabudra Valley, going out and just walking out into nature and lying down.
So important.
Setting the intention, okay, I want to have the structure drop in and just have really clear clarity on what I want to do in this event. And then I sit there and I lie, and it's like an hour of lying there, and then the ideas will just sort of filter in I'll sit there, I'll write the structure, cool, in the morning I'm gonna do yoga, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna make cacao at this time, I'm gonna meditate before the event, I'm gonna meet everyone. And since doing that, and I've taken the inspiration from you, because, you know, when we're just like, wing it, fuck it, then that didn't work all the time. So creating that structure now has been probably the best way and has supported me to really drop in. What do you think is your best way to really get ready for an event, or even just for life? Because I know you show up to, you know, you see 8 to 10 clients a day sometimes as well. Like, how do you prepare yourself to see your clients and to be ready?
So it's really interesting because you were talking about like 2 different types of either preparations, whether you prepare for an event that has like a full structure, and it's almost like, you know, you have to visualize it in your head first before you really, like, you know, when those moments where you were just like, okay, I'll just go with the flow and see how it rolls. And there were either moments that you didn't feel as, I don't know, in that flow or aligned.
Or rushed or stressed. Or,
but and then it happens and it's all good. But like once you really like do that structure of any event, and you really close your eyes, you just visualize each part and what are you gonna say and for how long, and then, you know, you just like it creates itself. You don't really need to do much. Your body, which is the container, just goes through that like structure. And then you're saying about, like, you know, having 8-10 clients a day, and how do you prepare for that? Honestly, it's like a roller coaster. You don't know. Like sometimes I even forget who's coming because I'm in that loop of seeing back to back, and then I'm like, oh, it's that person, and then okay, and then they might come into the session like completely different. They could come like in a hurry and they're, oh my god, I'm late, or you know, and then you're like, whoa, okay, it's one type of energy, but then someone else is like completely like after a breakup and they need like some more of like that more, I don't know, uplifting energy. And so it's really hard to like prepare for a day at work, and I just trust myself that whatever happens is the right thing that should happen. But every day I do my like either journaling or meditation, breath work. I ground and go barefoot out on the beach, or just even like listen to Gary V, which is one of my favorite public motivational speakers out there, and also sometimes like Abraham Hicks, which is really cool to like just like get another perspective from that. And astrology, I think astrology is one of my favorite things when it comes to building either certainty, but like prepare for the unknown, because you know, you might plan one thing but it could turn to be completely the opposite. And in the astrology talks a lot about like those sudden moments of like you planned this or you thought that this could happen and then it turned out to be something else, but it's actually, it's part of the plan, it's part of like a bigger picture that is supposed to come. And yeah, so that's mostly that, how maybe I prepare for either events or another day at work.
Yeah, it's much the same. Cool. And off the back of that, could you explain in short form the technique and the process that you use with your clients? Because I really enjoy what you do, and I'm so inspired by your particular methodology and how you support people. So could you break that down as well?
Yeah, so I hope I'll explain it in a simple way, but it's quite simple when you think about it. Like, my belief is that everyone has the ability to heal themselves. You know, the connection between the sperm and the egg, and each person by their parents, and that connection multiplied the cells into 60 trillion cells, and created the human body. That intelligence knows exactly what to do. And the way it created it, it can heal itself and repair itself. And you know, from the moment that we wake up in the morning, our system is constantly looking to improve its performance. It's telling you to go to the loo, wee, poop, drink, eat, sleep, go for a walk, read a book, or I don't know, go for a holiday or travel. Like all these inner conversations are there to like make us experience our existence in a better way, in a more exciting way, but more toward keeping ourselves healthy so we can survive and last for a long time. And then that intelligence is there. Doesn't matter if you're a 3-month-old baby or a 93-year-old person, the system still wants to nourish itself. And we can see that in plants, in trees, animals. You know, when an animal is injured, the only thing that it does is sits under the shade and barely eats, barely drinks, and the body recovers. So I come from that place. What I do, and I am proud to say that I'm really good at it, is
I can vouch for that.
Is helping people connect to that intelligence. Because most of us, we forget. We forget to breathe. We forget to exercise, which is the most basic form of the movement. We forget to eat. Like it's so interesting. I meet people and like, what did you eat today? And it's already like Arvo time. Oh, I didn't eat anything today. Like I didn't have time.
And they're not purposely fasting.
No,
they just forget.
And it's just really interesting to like how much like people are not aware, and that's how diseases are created, or any type of sickness can be created from just lack of awareness. So I'm there to bring awareness. And that helps the body to recover through Chinese medicine, acupuncture, cupping, lymphatic drainage, diaphragm release, massage, breath work, fascia stretching, kinesio taping, and all craniosacral, which is my favorite technique actually. My profession is traditional Chinese medicine. I studied 4.5 years in Tel Aviv, Israel, and graduated in China, Beijing. And I worked with my dad, which he's a famous chiropractor back home. Worked with him for 8 years. It's a family business, and kind of worked with my mom, my brother, my sister, everyone at the same place. And I grew up to that. Like, it's not that I didn't have a choice, but everyone went through that field. And I was like, okay, I'll just do the same, until I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't work with my dad, my brother, going through a lot of different clashes, but I learned so much, and that experience with my dad, he's a master, and he can see through people's bodies and understand what is and where is the stagnation, and it's unbelievable, his knowledge and his experience. So I integrate that knowledge into the practice that I'm doing at the moment. And yes, I'm just helping people connect to their own healing system. That's basically what I do. And and then there's so much more. There's so many techniques, and it's not that like there's one better than the other, because there's so many systems and layers to the body, and if you just use one technique, you're missing out of so many. Like even acupuncture, you're just touching the meridian system. It's the spirit that goes through the internal organs and the chi that might come from it. But then you have like the nervous system, the hormonal system, endocrine system, lymphatic system, respiratory system, all these systems that once you integrate them together, the percentage of success of what people come and complain about, they will come out healthier and recover fast. And it's unbelievable. It's almost like a miracle to see people, how they come in first, and then after a few sessions already like symptoms are just fading. And they like, I don't even recognize myself, because it's just, they connect to their true self and their intelligence. So that's hope I explained it properly.
Explained that so well. I really like the concept that you touched on, which is incorporating all the systems. You know, I think all too often people can focus on just this thing, just exercise, or just eating, or just meditation, or just a spiritual connection, or whatever it might be. But when we include all these systems, and like you're saying, the nervous system, the endocrine system, the hormonal system, the circulatory, cardiovascular, when you incorporate all those systems and work on looking at all of them, your chances of healing and elevating your body's vibration is going to be a lot higher, right? So
true.
I really enjoyed that view that you take on it. So off the back of that, what are you working on at the moment that you're going to bring forth and create in the future, or that's going to be available in the future?
What am I working on at the moment? You know, honestly, like I feel like every day I'm working on something else. There's, you know, I'm so passionate about so many things, and I want to create like great experiences for people, and to reach maybe even places that I don't feel as comfortable, but I'm doing it just to like get that like either done or to have that experience. One of the things that I'm working on at the moment is an online program where people can tap into the knowledge of traditional Chinese medicine by using acupressure points to help themselves relieve any type of symptoms. It could be headaches, lower back pain, insomnia, palpitation, chest pain, digestive system issues, and the list is so long. And then having that accessible for anyone. And so that's what I'm basically doing in the back, behind the scenes. Building that program at the moment. It's probably going to take a few months, or you know, I wanted to look nice.
You want it to really come out
and create
nice
videos and explain where's the location, what's the purpose, where is it coming from, because you know, most people think that like, okay, I have a headache, they have a headache, and they're like, oh, I'll just like chuck a pill or two or maybe three. And like, what's the limit? And maybe there's a problem with my head, so they go and do scans and CT and MRI, and the doctors don't even find anything, and then they come in and they understand that according to the Chinese medicine, it actually comes from the internal organs, the liver. It's like, what? But my head is here. Why is my liver telling my head? Because that's how it works. Like the internal organs, when they're in a lack of balance or performing on a low level, they might start making sounds and tweak and
different things.
And one of the things with the liver is when it's in imbalance or in a stagnant mode, energy is being released up to the head, and then we see a lot of that migraines, headaches, and or dizziness or whatever. So the whole concept of treating your liver will help to reduce your pressure in your head, and not the pill, which is just a shortcut, or putting a Band-Aid or a plaster on it. And lots of, you know, there's so many symptoms that we just think that we'll chuck this and that.
Oh, it's this. No, but actually. Right.
But what's the root and where is it coming from? So educating people on that. Another thing that I'm really excited about is creating like an art workshop. I'm a fan of art and how you can like help people or treat people through art
creation,
art therapy, which is a huge topic, and then create like a workshop on that, including breathwork and meditation and sound and clear people's minds and help them kind of like express it on a canvas, guided by either an artist or something like that. What else? Continuing, as normal, the Sundays at the Creek, maybe even opening up a new branch around, I don't know, somewhere around Cooley or Kira or Tugan, I don't know, but having like another branch for the Sundays, maybe doing it like one weekend at Telebadra and the other weekend in another location, I don't know, like
lots of options.
Yeah, so that's maybe even running another facilitator program. I don't really know. I really go with a flow, and I follow the vibe.
See where the energy is. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
So something else quite big happened in your life in the past year. You had a child.
Yeah.
And
wow.
how has it been managing your business, running community events, and also fathering your first child? How has that been for you?
It was lovely.
Yeah.
It was extremely tough. I don't think you can really prepare for that experience. It just happens. I mean, yes, 9 months of how do you say it? Birthing or hibernating or pregnancy. And then it just like, but you as a male, you don't feel it. You're just there to support, and you can only do a certain amount of things to help your lady and your partner through that process. But it's she's experiencing everything, and then when it comes, you're like, okay, what can I do? You can't really breastfeed as a male. I wish, but I can't. It just helps, they could sleep while you breastfeed. We don't produce milk, not yet.
The new hybrid man might.
And then honestly with work, so you just have to take some time off, and in times where like it's really intense, the baby needs so much support and time and to look after, and it's just something that you have to commit for. And even with the price of like not going to work or not continuing any of the projects or events or workshops, and just focusing inwards and embracing that moment, because it is really special. It is really unique to see something growing. And simple as you put water into a plant, and it's that the expectation and the excitement of like, okay, when is it, like you wanna see it growing and bringing out the fruits. But it's not easy, and it's frustrating. I think the hardest thing was the lack of sleep, which is everyone goes through. It's really, it messes up with your mind. You wake up in the middle of the night like 5-6 times at the beginning. Every little pips or a little cry. Sometimes I would imagine as if like she's crying, but she wouldn't. I would just jump out of bed like, what happened? And nothing happened. She's still asleep. Like, and I would freak out, and then trying to fall back asleep to that. And then the rest of the day, you're almost like you're floating, but not in a good way. You're just like, you're extremely tired, and you're just hoping to get back to bed as soon as possible.
Sounds like lots of fun.
So for me, the most important thing was to work on my emotional stability. That's when I found breathwork and meditation, and also like giving time for yourself. It's a huge priority, and because you help yourself, you can be better for your partner. You can, if you just like stay stuck at home, and you need also that like separation time, and a few of those moments, it could be really intense. We got lucky to have help from our parents. They came from overseas, but great question. Actually, not many people ask me like how was dealing with all that process.
Would you say that has been one of the most rewarding things you've done as well?
100%. I really think that, you know, it's just, first of all, seeing like the similarity of facial expressions, or I don't know, like you see yourself in a way in that baby, or similarities of, or different things, or how she laughs, or how she smiles, or the way she crawls, and you can like, oh, that's my stand. Like you can see yourself within her,
A reflection of you,
something like that. And but you know, like her smiling just randomly, or dancing to music that we put in the house, and it's those moments that you really like.
It's all worth it.
It's all worth it.
You wouldn't give anything back.
No, no,
Wouldn't
definitely.
change any of it for those little
Right, but
those
not
little snippets.
not even in a hurry to like go for the second one yet. Like I think I hope no one.
You and your beautiful wife, I know that you share times where she goes and has her time to go to the gym and do workouts and walks and hangouts, and then you do that as well. Could you share how you guys find the balance where you can both support each other?
Yeah, like I think for me the most important thing was to see her recovering from birth, because that takes a lot on the body, to just going through a lot of hormonal changes, and then like from breastfeeding to stopping the feeding, and how that changed the physiological part of the body. And then so for me, I was all about, okay, you focus on yourself, go work out, and do whatever it needs to like work on yourself, and whatever helps you to feel better. And then I'll find my own time in between that. So yeah, I look after my daughter when she works out, and or if she wants to hang out with a friend, or you know, but now we're sending her to daycare, so just twice a week at the moment. But yeah, like, you know, so we still have time for each other separately, but we also very encouraged to bring back that spark to that relationship, because it's, you know, it can easily fade, and you know, you're so
focused on the baby.
You're so focused on the baby, and so trapped into like what it needs, that you forget about yourself, on your personal self, but you mostly forget about
your partner
as
well.
Your partner. Yeah. So very challenging, and every day looks completely different, but it's so satisfying. And you know, you just look back in time like, wow, we've done so much. You know, we grew up together, you know, and we are creating life, and it's rewarding, definitely.
That's so beautiful.
Thank
I
you,
really
man.
appreciate you sharing that. Is there anything else that you would say that you've done in your life that fulfills you?
Anything else that I've done in my life that fulfills me?
Yeah.
I think the fact of just leaving my hometown and moving to a foreign country and starting from scratch, and just like reflecting on everything that I've done since I moved here, in that short period of time, and the people and the connections, and it's like an ongoing process, and it's constantly fulfilling, and it's really exciting. Every morning I wake up and I'm really passionate about like just tackle the day, I'm if it's fulfilling for me to like maybe even be an example, or to, you know, to show people back home where I'm from, which is a really intense place, that you can achieve things, you can do things if you put your effort and time into it. So that fulfills, just gives some kind of a satisfaction. But even maybe like, you know, amount of either compliments or people, just saying like, yeah, wow, what have we done in that short period of time? Like I'm surprised as well, and honestly, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just like honestly, I'm following my passion and wherever the wind blows,
Yeah.
But now we're doing one thing, and in a few years we might be in a different place, and that moment will be the most important moment. So it's all a journey, and it's a matter of like experiencing different aspects of life in different times. But I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful answer. I'm really inspired by your ability or the decision that you made to remove yourself from the family business. And was that when you went traveling after that? After the family business, you went traveling and then you moved over here? Was that how you got here? Or you went traveling first, then came back, worked for the family business, and then decided you wanted to move?
At age 18, I joined the army, served the military service for 3 years in the Israeli Defense Force. Finished that experience and went on a big trip like all the soldiers do.
That's right.
I went for a year and a half all over Central America, in the States.
That's where you met and connected with Talia.
That's why I met Talia, my partner, about 12 years ago in Costa Rica, in the middle of a jungle in a party. It's like, hey, and she's like from my hometown, like she's like 5 minutes away, and we never met. And once I came back from that trip, I decided to follow my dad's footsteps. We worked together for 8 years. And then me and Talia got married, went on a honeymoon. We came here on our honeymoon all over like the East Coast. And then once we got to the Gold Coast, we were like, we could actually live here. Talia applied for her master's degree. She studied at Bond. And then that same year, we just decided to move and completely. But that moment of leaving, it was the situation with my family was boiling. Like we were getting so many arguments and just a lot of like tackling and weird stuff, and then I was like, I'm not sure I'm enjoying this anymore. You know, who said that we have to work together? Like I would rather just stay a family, and embrace that.
And so you made that big decision to move over here.
And I had a lot of like bad feelings from family members back home, which is normal and understanding. But I stick to my
stuck to your guns,
right? And it was more me being selfish of like how I want to live life and the decisions that me and Talia we want to make together, and not based on like how other people think that we should live based on their experience. And so that's how it kind of led to moving down here. But I would never say that. I would never guess that we would move here.
Previously.
Previously. I was so stuck in the business. I could not imagine myself doing something else. Either like the way I was controlled by family members and not believing in myself enough, and the fact that I always need to be told what to do, until I said fuck it, like I want to think for myself. Like I just want to like be able to make a decision and stand behind it, and if I make a mistake, I'll learn from it. I think that's one of the things with parents. They're trying to be so protective for their children, and they don't want them to like even step or make a fall or have some kind of not accident, but like go through challenges, because like they don't want them to be hurt and that ruins kids, like
because they become little shells or little bubbles.
They don't have like the courage to try things, and it's just everything has to be on the safe side. So that's when I was like unleashing from the from my bubble,
out.
from my
I'm
comfort
out.
zone, from my and it was like, fuck it.
Wow.
I'm getting out of that.
Huge plays, man, and super inspiring stuff. I just want to say, once again, thank you so much for coming on here. Where can people find you? What are your socials?
So people can find me on Alon Therapy on Instagram. Either at Sundays at the Creek every fortnight, or on a website, or on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. So.
And at I Am Human.
I'm Human, right? Sorry, completely.
Final plug for the session. Right. I Am Human.
I Am Human.
Once again, thank you so much, Alon. You've been such an inspiration to me. You've supported me through so many layers of my growth and my elevation, and I'm forever grateful for you, man. So
thank you. I appreciate you as well, and all the time and energy to believe in yourself and us, and create together, and through the fun and hard times and all of that together, and staying motivated. I'm really excited for your journey and your trip back or wherever you're gonna go, but can't wait to see you back already and to start creating back again, and the sky's the limit.
Let's fucking go, baby.
You.
Yeah, facts.